So last session we briefly talked about integration maps, how we can sorry integration attributes, how we can use it. I think we discussed a certain few couple of use cases as well, right? So and how we uh, how we can use it, right, in real time. So I have my integration open. So I think this is the same integration that you guys have been building since the beginning of the session. So in order to have or to configure attributes in an integration system, first thing that we have to do is similar to the report service, we have to go into our workday in component, as you can see, which is nothing but the start here. And there we there is an option called create attribute map service. So if you click on this first, the first icon is the create attribute map service. If you click on this, then you have to provide the attribute map service name. Okay, keep in mind that this is not the attribute name. So service name is different, the attribute name is different. So service name is nothing but uh, the way the Workday Studio assembly understands that, okay, this is a container within which we have the services. For example, uh, the report service we have used, right? So this akg underscore report underscore service underscore 8 underscore 1, this is the service name. So now see, so whatever service name you provide here while creating the service, that appears here. So this is the custom integration services. Within that, this is a service name. And once you create the service name, for example, let's talk about attribute service. So for attribute service, I created the service name as akg underscore attribute underscore service. So when you once you create it, you can select different types of attributes, right? Simple text type or reference type, enumeration type. So mostly you will normally most of the time you will use either simple text or reference type. So what you have to do is once you select add simple type attribute, you put the integration attribute name and select whether it is expecting a boolean or a date time number or text. So in our case we will be playing with the type text. So when you create this and then when you deploy it, suddenly after deployment, if you open your integration system, you will see that this attribute service will come up. Then what you have to do, you have to go to the these three dots and then go to integration system and configure integration attributes. Once you click that, what you can do is here you will have bypass and this plus button. If you click on this plus button, it will have, you can add one row. So in our case we are using an n. So the what we are trying to do is that we want to bypass some component inside the studio and or skip some component inside the studio, and instead of doing 1 equals to 2 1 equals to equals to 2, what we will do is based on which tenant the integration is running, we will handle it that way. So when you add this row and put the text value here, then this particular row right on top of restricted to environment, which means that which all environments you want this value to be restricted to. That means the value of this attribute called bypass will be will be n whenever the environment or the tenant is either any one of these. So as you can see here, except production tenant, I have put everything as n. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is, if it's a non-production environment, all my logs or whatever async mediation component or logs or store, whatever step I want, I will bypass it. But if it's a sorry, I will not bypass it. It's a bypass equals to no. If and then we can add another row. Just click on the plus button, then we can add another row here, and here I have put a y and put production as the restricted to environment. This means in production, whenever the tenant integration is running in production, then only the value of bypass will be n. Otherwise, it will be it will be y. Otherwise, it will be n. So is the concept clear? What we are trying to achieve here?
Is this called a cosh? This functionality?
This is called integration attribute.
This integration attributes. Okay.
Yes, yes. Similarly, now I will show you another example. Let me pull up one of my other projects that I did. Um, so here what we did was, so basically, this is, we are, for this integration, we are actually trying to, integrate or send new hire data or termination data to a vendor. Um, it is a learning vendor. They provide this particular client like different learning content courses. It's a service provider in terms of, it's just like LinkedIn and all. So we were doing the integration via API. So for API, they had a client ID and client secret. So they had different client ID for their non-production environment, and different client ID client secret combination for their uh, production environment, right? And there was few parameters like who is the issuer, or other things like the issuer, the endpoint, right? There was a concept called group endpoint. It's all API related endpoint details. So as you can see here, all the client IDs and client secrets and everything, what we have done is, this is the value applicable for production. Why we did that is that, like, whenever we want to like test it, right, for any debugging purpose or not, so it doesn't make any sense to always go back and update the the update the values of the endpoints or the group endpoints or the issuer details and all. So we uh, did it in that way. Another possible use case would be, uh, so this is again another integration where it's a kind of a boomerang integration. If you remember the very beginning, we talked about boomerang integration, which is neither an outbound nor an inbound. That means neither we are sending data to a third party or a vendor system, or neither we are consuming data from a third party, but we are taking the data from our own system, doing some based on certain business rules, we are again updating Workday. So in this case, what we are doing is, this is a the business requirement was that whenever a new employee joins the organization, so initial either 60 days or 90 days or 120 180 days, they have their probation, right, based on certain different region. Basically this client had uh, offices all across the globe, so different region has their different probation period, and they have a thing called pathways. So how like there is a performance, like after the end of the that probation tenure, we have to initiate the performance, not a performance review, I would say. It's called self reflection on the either the 60 days or 90 days or 120 180 based on their probation period. So initially what was happening, entire process was manually done. There were reports in Workday which were sending out sending out alerts, right, alerts to the like the admin team members. They were going in, they were manually, either manually doing it or using via through an EIB. So EIB loads, if there were at a certain point of time, if there are more than 10 15 new hires, so they are doing EIB uploads, or if it's one or two, they are doing manually. So what we did was we created a studio integration, consumed the reports. Inside the report, we were checking, okay, if the self reflection has initiated or not. whether they have a certain whether they find a certain coach is actually responsible for guiding them in the organization, their everything, their performance, their all the like people management kind of things. So the studio integration was same thing whatever you guys did, taking the RAS report, consuming it into studio, then splitting it one by one. If the employee has a coach, well, great, go ahead and check whether it's whether the self reflection has already initiated or not, using a route component which we did. And if there is no coach inside from the route component, just go out and throw an error, log it as an error. If the self reflection has initiated, then fine, do nothing, right? If it is not initiated, then go ahead and send a call a web service called start performance review, I think, or start performance request, something like that. I can't remember the name of the web service right now. So you push call that web service using a soap call, workday out soap, which also we did. So using the workday out soap, it is basically hitting the workday tenant using the web service, passing the employee ID's value at the at symbol within close brackets, props, same way we did, and finally initiating the transaction, initiating the review. So in the BP level, we configured that if once the review is initiated, there will be a notification that will say that an automation has generated your self reflection, um, as you have there was a certain template, as you have already reached in next 7 days, you will be completing your probation, so you have to fill your self reflection forms and all those stuff. So in that, so we created this attribute service. Why we created it? Because based on certain whether the employee is falling under pathway 60s or 90 or 90 plus 120 180, we were there is a lot of calculation that is happening, that business logic that has to be determined before we push it. So for example, when we are initiating the performance review, based on whether the employee is in which region, whether it's pathway 60, 90, 120, so certain date calculation, like for every start performance, this web service, it takes a start date and end date. So that end date was determined by whether the employee is falling under 60 or 90, 120, 180. So what we could have done is we could have inside the studio code, we could have written that, well, if it's 60, 90, whatever. Instead of that, what we did was we configured it in path in this attribute service, and we are calling the values of the attribute service inside the studio and doing our calculation, all the business logic. So we never so in this way, we are basically avoiding any chances of any hard coding. So tomorrow, if some logic changes, that okay, something change in this value, right? So if this changes, so we don't need to update the code, we can update it here. And also we had the template, what template we had to pass, right, while initiating the web service call, right? So it can like for example, this is a check-in template, it can be a year-end review template or a mid-year review template. So we never wanted to have the template hard-coded in the integration, but we wanted to do it inside as a part of attribute. So either you can either attribute service can be used to handle it based on environment, like the previous scenario I showed you, or this can be another use case where you want to make the code smarter, avoid hard coding. How will we consume from the front end, right, integration system, how will we consume the data? So simple thing is, this is the syntax that we use is instance integration system dot get attribute. So here in this get instance get attribute, the value that you're passing here, this has to be the integration attribute name. So do not get confused, do not pass the service name is different, attribute name is different. So what I did here was simply use this and assign it to a property. And using that, let's say here I am executing the steps whenever it is equals to y. Okay.
I have a question. What is the name of the element that contains the evaluation? Because we don't have it on
Okay.
the
So
streamline or
no, no, this is just like okay. So this one, right? This is an async mediation.
okay.
So you have to assign, you have to use this code and assign this attribute value to a property using an eval step. And an eval step, you can use it inside an async mediation component. So what I did was, I think your studio course doesn't have this one. So you are doing directly from start here to call report, right? So
Okay. Yeah.
what I did was, before the call report, I want to get my, attribute names, my sequence generator, my like launch parameters, everything sorted. So before the actual processing begins, it's like if any programming language we initialize, right? So that is what I'm doing here. So I mean, you can assign it later as well after the report call, but it's up to you, up to the developer who is creating the integration. Does that answer your question, Pablo? All good?
Can you allow us like just 1 or 2 minutes to create that?
Yeah,
Because
of
we don't
course.
have it.
You will definitely will create it. I wanted
Oh,
to
we
just
will create it later?
yeah. You will.
Okay.
You have to.
All right.
There's
All
no
right.
point of showing you everything and let you go. So yeah, this is integration. Like, and you can see my remote desktop, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So when we mention instance.get attribute, this is used in cases where the attribute type is text. So this option, simple type attribute, not text, sorry, it's a simple type. Basically a direct, like if the value of the attribute is abc123xyz. Okay. But let's say the other example that I showed you, where I was using an object and workday object, right? Where did I go? This one, right? This is a attribute, reference type attribute. That means this is nothing but this is an org type. It's a custom organization. So this is not a text field. Here we are actually pulling a reference type attribute. That means this pathway is participating in pathway 60 days. It is actually referring to the custom organization, and this custom organization is assigned at the workers organization level. That is how we are this particular client is determining that whether the employee is applicable for 60 days probation, 90 days probation, 120, 180. Make sense?
Yeah.
So let's say if I would have, I mean, I could have handled this in a using a simple attribute like a text field, right? But there I would have to write this participating in pathways 60 days. Now tomorrow, if the name of this organization changes from probation 60 days, then I have to again change the attribute here. So in, I don't want to do that. Today if it is participating pathways, tomorrow if it is abc 60 days, I'm taking the reference of that custom organization. So if the organization changes, its reference ID changes, its description changes, or its name changes, doesn't matter. It will reflect directly. It will reflect here. My studio, my integration system attributes, we need not to worry. Got it?
Okay, I have here and I created
Okay.
this test
Now
and
just deploy the value. Deploy the clar.
oh yeah, it's already deployed. I
Deploy
have it here.
now. Yeah. Now just Configure, go to the integration related actions.
To the three dots, right?
Yes, that's called the related actions.
Okay.
Integration system, the first one, integration system, configure integration attributes. So you can put an N and select implementation. Yeah, and put another, put a Y and select production. Okay, now save it. So what you can do is in the after the start here, just put an async mediation
After
after
the
the,
start.
yeah, after the workday in, yeah, and just delete that arrow, that wire, and rearrange it. Just, yeah, just click on delete, it will get deleted. Yeah, now just rearrange it. And you can just hold the swim lane and try to push it a bit of on top the swim lane, the entire swim lane. Can you can just push it up because it's overlapping to your report call swim lane. It's enough, I think. Yeah. Okay. Now in the async mediation, what we need to do? We need to put an eval, the first one. Next, what do you have to do? Okay, good. Go ahead. Yep.
We need
Just
to create the props.
yes.
The props are the same format like this one.
Yeah.
Or
Yes. Yes. No, not the full one. Just give a property name. Just the name of the property, whatever you want. Give it a name. And the
Okay.
INTSYS, 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 integration system,
Oh,
INT,
okay. Yeah.
the same
Okay.
do in the tenant while searching, right? Then a dot and get attribute.
And all small case letters.
Only A is capital, rest all small case.
Get attribute.
Yes, and within parentheses, you just put your name of the name of what?
With
The
with
service?
simple.
Yes, it's a simple type. So what are you gonna put here?
Um. This name test
Yes,
attribute. No.
correct. No. This is the service name. This is the integration service name. Go to your studio. Yes, you have to select
This one.
this. Yes. Just right click on that and you will get a copy text. Just cancel this. Yeah, just copy text and just cancel this. Got it?
Okay.
Now do one thing. You put a log after that. After the eval step, put a log. Put a log and print this property value.
This way, right? I create a text and
Yes,
then
yes. You can remove that message content because there is no, we don't want to see the message that is flowing. We just want to print the value.
I don't remember the structure for.
So then you are already, are you using it somewhere? Any of the logs?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think this one, right?
yeah. Use it and just update the property name there. Okay.
And this to string, it is the right
It is,
format.
yes, right format. Save
Okay.
it, save it. And wait. And go to the PIM, go to the put integration message. Yeah, PIM. And it's showing integration begins, right? Go to the
Yeah.
common tab. Go to the common tab. Yeah, you can use that property to um, bypass it.
This one.
Yeah. So your setup is, if it is equals to like if it is implementation, then the value should be n, right? So if you don't want the PIM to get fired, what you will put in this execute step when this execute when step?
When I want to get that trigger,
Yeah, when you don't want to trigger this put integration message.
was the one equals to, right? This.
Yeah, but let's try to use this property that we defined, right? The attribute. Using the attribute, how can we do that?
We can say uh, by PyTest equals uh,
Equals?
yes, it is production, right?
Yes,
And the end is implementation.
yes.
So as we are working on implementation, I will say it this way.
Perfect. Just now, yeah, logic is perfect. Now just put the property, the name of the property. Your logic is absolutely correct. Just do a props, whatever you selected in the eval, your property name.
Let me check.
Just copy and paste it there.
This one,
Yes,
props.
yes. No, on the PIM,
It's
the
in the
next
PA.
PI. Okay, save it. Let's deploy it. Let's see. Rest of the folks, are you good?
See, after we deploy it, I guess. Feel like I might have missed a step, but maybe not.
No issues. We'll see. John, if you can just share your screen. Pablo, just run the report. Sorry, run the integration, and in the meantime, if you can stop sharing, Pablo, we can see what John is. Where
Oh,
should
just
we
let me
start?
get the result. Let's see if it's working.
Yeah, fine. Go ahead. No, go to the message. Go to the message. See, the integration begins. That message is not coming up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you see, wait, if you go to the process, your integration name, the integration name on top.
this one.
Yeah, just to the three dots, click on that. That's your integration system. And in the integration, go to the first integration system, integration events, open it in a new tab. Right click and open it in a new tab.
Oh, yeah, okay. Integration system. Well, that's integration events, right?
Yeah, just right click and open it in a new tab. Just click on OK. Open the second one. Open the second one. No, not that. The integration event. The third column.
Oh, the third column.
Third column.
Oh, okay. This one.
The below, one below.
Okay.
Yeah, open that. Just open that. Click on
Okay.
that. Now in the messages, go to the messages. So here you see in your previous event, you can see integration begins. This message is coming up. And because you have used your attribute value to bypass the PIM, in your current event, go to your second tab, it's not coming up, right?
Yeah.
Just click outside, anywhere outside, yeah, it will go away. So in the message now here, only one message is there.
I just clicked on
That's fine.
the message. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, only the XML output you can see, right?
Yeah.
Not the PIM. So this is how you can use the attributes and play like use it in your processing. Got it?
Got it.
Okay.
All
So if you
right, I
can
will stop
just
sharing.
I didn't define bypass underscore test.
you could not have
Um,
custom data. Okay. Text logs. Okay. Yeah. Go to the studio. First of all, let's open the integration system once. Just click on that.
well, actually, I already have it open here.
Now, I need the integrate. Open the integration system. The process, the one that is showing process hyperlink, that is your integration system. Okay.
Okay.
Can you go to the integration service? Okay, you haven't. Okay, got it. So you see you do not have that attribute service, right?
Right.
So go to the studio, open your studio, go to the Workday component, click on that, go to services. You have to create your service. Yeah, click on that. Yeah, just give it a name. Okay, now select the first to the top right, to the right. Yeah, the first one. Simple type attribute. Click on that and give it give the a name attribute, whatever you feel like. Okay, select the type as text. Okay, now go to the eval step which you added in the async mediation after that. So is the property is the name same? Just
Yeah, it's the same.
verify, right? No, the name of the attribute.
Yeah,
Go to work.
it's right.
Go to the Workday in. Go to Workday in. DYPSS underscore test. Perfect. Yeah, it should work. And go to the log. Let me see the syntax, whatever you added in the log. Yeah. Okay, is the property name same? Fine, right? Yeah, then just save it, deploy it, and run it. So the error that you were getting, John, was actually when the log was trying to fire. So you are passing the value, you are converting the property value using to a string using dot to string function, right? So, but the property is not having any value at all. So it was not getting anything to convert to string. So that is why you are getting that error.
Okay, where do I set the value in here?
You haven't. Okay, go to the related actions of the integration system. related actions of the integration system. Yeah, then configure integration attributes, the fourth option. Yeah, here you put the value like n for implementation. Yeah, just click put a yes. Yeah, n for implementation, and in the restricted to environment, the right next field, the prompt, select implementation, and then again click on that plus button and do the same for production, the y for production. So basically you mean the attribute value will be yes when it is running in production, it will be n when it will be running in implementation tenant. Now click on OK, save it, run it. So yeah, and if you go to the, you don't have that PIM message firing, right? So your attribute is working as expected. And if you go to integration details, open the log, the server log. Go to the server second one, open it. In the log, did you okay add? Go to the right. Yeah, you can see that bypass underscore test is n.
Oh, let me see it up here. Yeah.
Yeah. So you printed the value and it is coming up as expected, right? Implementation you selected as n, right?
Yep. That's right. Yep. Okay. Good.
Okay, sounds good. All good. I open the integration system. Let's look at the report. We'll make the report. And I will enable the prompt for the report. Have it open. Okay. So here what we are trying to do is we are trying to understand a business case where a report, we have to pass a launch parameter to the report. So if you go to the prompts tab, and so these are this runtime date prompts in the section in the prompt. This is basically uh, it's by default it's checking the runtime of the report whenever the report is running. So basically the report is generating the data based on the latest and greatest data that is there at the point of the integration run or at the point of the report run. So for effective date, what we will do is we will take this prompt for effective as of date, and then we will click on this field, populate undefined prompt defaults, and these are again basics of reporting, and we will make it as the XML alias as date. Okay, and we'll make it required. That means the user who is running the report must provide a, so now we have made the report prompt enabled. So now when we will be running the integration, then same thing, right? The integration is running the report. So when the report needs a prompt date, so the integration has to have a launch parameter where the user who is running the integration will provide a date, right, guys? So in that case, there is a service or there is a feature which Studio provides, where we can configure the launch parameter for the integration, which and how we can pass that launch parameter to the Workday RAS call. How we will do it? In Studio, if you see the Workday in component, there is an option called, there's in the properties, you see on top of the services, you see launch parameters. So here I have, just because my report will consume a runtime prompt as date, I just gave a name. Basically, once you come here, you just have to select this simple type parameter. Again, here also simple reference enumeration, all that is there. So for our case, we'll take it as a simple. So date, we'll select date as an option, save it. Once that is done, then we'll add an, in the same eval step, we will create a property called props.date and LP, and we'll use this syntax LP get date. That means LP is launch parameter dot get date and pass the launch parameter name. This one will pass it here, and it will, so basically whatever date the launch date is getting passed to the integration system as launch parameter, we are storing it here. Okay, and then the next step is, we have received the launch parameter, it is there, we have consumed it in our Studio assembly. Now we have to pass it to the REST component, right? So in the REST component, this, if you see, open your see your Workday Studio REST component extra path. So up till this was our default extra path which got created when we went here. If you remember, this plus icon, we clicked on it and this got automatically generated by Studio itself. After that, in order to pass the prompt, we just need to add a question mark, then a date. This date is nothing but whatever the this name. So if it would have been ABC, I had to provide question mark ABC equals to at, within curly bracket, the property name. So what this will do is this will take the value from this property in the eval step and pass it to the Workday REST component, so that the report gets run as of this particular date or as of this particular parameter, whatever. For example, if you want to pass a cost center, right? Cost center hierarchy or cost center, or maybe some department, whatever maybe your use case. So this is how you take the launch parameter, create the launch parameter, pass it. So
In the meantime that you are in Workday, can
mhm.
you show how to get to edit the report? Because I missed that step.
Okay, fine. You just need to search the report, whatever is your
Oh,
report
okay.
name. If you don't remember your report name, go to your Studio, click on the report service, and you will have this name of your report. Okay.
Okay,
So
it's under start.
yeah, we will do it. Pablo, don't worry. Just
Okay.
understand the
All right.
concept. You guys will do it hands on.
All right.
So now, if you try to run the integration, do an okay. You see, initially, if you remember, just now when you ran the integration, it was not asking for any integration. There was nothing called integration criteria, right? But now it is asking for a date. So put a date and run it, and this date will pass along to the to your Studio and to your report. Got it?
Okay, with that, with this method, we make the date dynamic, not static as we had it.
Yes. So
That is the purpose of this, right?
yes, purpose of this dynamic as well as whatever. For example, here we are using date, right? So let's say if I want to, let me open a new tab. For example, So let's say this report, right? It's on worker. So um, instead of custom report edit, like instead of date, right? Let's say you have a scenario where you have to get the report only for a certain geography. For example, cost center. I don't know what kind of cost centers are there here. Let's say or test. Let's say Madrid cost center, right? If you filter it, put the filter here in the filter tab. So this will automatically always return data for people who are sitting in Madrid cost center. So, but you want the user to have that flexibility that that the integration should return whatever data, whatever cost center data the user wants to have, right? So you cannot have, if you select this every, so let's say today it's Madrid, tomorrow if it's maybe some cost center in US, so you have to go in and update the cost center here. Instead of that, what will you do? You will just do a prompt here and click or select this from the prompt the user for value. It will generate a default prompt here. Then if you go to the prompts tab, click on this, you see the cost center gets automatically created, right? If you now you select it, save it, then what you have to do, same in the launch parameter, you have to go back, you have to add another launch parameter here, do a plus, add it here, do cost center, put it as a text, right? Then again go back here. I think the syntax is lp.getText for that. And then here in your workday outrest, it's like after this again another question mark. Then you have to pass the XML value which was here. This cost center equals to at the rate whatever property name you selected while putting it in eval. Got my point? So
Yes, now it will pull the information once that is triggered for the specific cost center
yeah,
that you have
exactly.
specified.
Whatever you want. You want the integration to fire for Madrid? Fine. You while running launching the integration, put Madrid or maybe Texas or some Washington DC, whatever cost center you want. So it makes not only makes it dynamic, it gives the option to the user to, like for example in Workday in reports, right? Whenever your user is running the report for if you enable the prompt launch parameter, like the run parameters of the report, and the user might run it for this cost center, okay, this particular region, this particular department, right? Same thing you are doing it via the integration. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So first things first, we will update the report for now. First, we'll update the report. Let's go to the tenant. I'll just copy this.
Okay, this is the report.
Yeah. So if you want to open the report definition, always put a RD colon and then your report name. So it will not by default run the report. It will give you the definition of the report. Put a colon. Yeah. Now, yeah. Click on that. So you get your report definition. Now edit the report. Go to the prompt. Not there. Go to the prompt option. We'll be putting a date as a launch parameter here. On the
Okay.
effective date, wait. No, 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 no. Effective date. Select the prompt for effective as of date. Okay, now click on the populate undefined prompt values checkbox. Just click it once. Yeah, it will automatically populate whatever the necessary prompts that are missing. So in the effective as of date, you can just put date. No, no, no. Let it be not the prompt XML alias. The next one, next field, next one. That is label for prompt, not the XML alias. See, in Workday Studio, we are all playing with the XML alias, right? So if you can want to keep it as it is, fine, or you can just update it to date. Remember in previous session, one of the session, I told you that the lesser the XML alias name, the better, faster the execution, because the messages will be, the volume of message will be less in the memory. Make it required. Okay. Now click on OK. Save it. Yeah. There's an error. Let's see. And review will be deleted. Okay. I think. Okay. Wait. Go to the advanced tab. Go to the advanced tab. Scroll down. Scroll down. So today your report definition is will get deleted because a temporary definition, right? So can you do a copy of this report? Just cancel it. Cancel it. We'll do a copy of this report before it gets automatically deleted. Just click on the three dots. Custom report. Copy. Okay. Save it. Just remove the copies. The copy. Remove it. Remove it. Okay. Save it. Now at the prompts. Save it. Go to a studio. Now that you're using a new report, you have to go to Workday out rest. You have to update this. Okay, you are in here, right? Just select the right. No, no, no. Just right arrow to the right. To the right. There's a small arrow to the left of the. Yeah, that one. Click on that. Select the new report. No. Yes. Put the name in the report name. Make Studio understand that this is the new report. The last one, I guess. Okay. Save it. Now go to the Workday out rest. Can you remove it and rerun it? Remove it. There's a big R you can see to the right. The rightmost icon. Rightmost. No, no, not that. Yeah, the rightmost. Yeah. Click on that. Got cleared, right? Do a save. Do a save. Control S. Saved. Yes. Now go to that arrow and select the generate the extra path. Now select OK. That's it. That's it. Fine. Fine. Good. Now save it. Okay. Now the error has gone away because I don't know whether you have noticed or not. In your workday out rest component, there was a small red dot on top left because your report is going to get expired today. So we have re-added the report. Now go to the start here. Go to workday in start here. Let's see the launch parameter. Okay, date, fine. Go to the eval.
The next one here.
Yes. Now we have to consume it, right? Expressions. LP get date, fine. So date was your name of the XML alias as right. Okay, and fine. Now go to the workday out rest. Okay, before that, print the value, print the date value in your log.
On the log.
Yes, I want to. We all want to see that output.
Can be on this same one or has to be another one?
Yeah, just same. Do a put an enter after that and add it.
With this same format, right?
Same format, yes. Same syntax.
Okay, has been saved.
Yeah, saved. Perfect. Now, next step is let's go to the workday out rest and pass the launch parameter. So the syntax is a question mark.
And the same as this one, right?
Yes. So this date is the XML alias that is there in the report. And pass your property here. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's run the report. Sorry, run the integration. Deploy and run. Can deploy it. Let's go back to the tenant and run the integration. Okay, did you not make the report prompt as required? Don't worry, this will fail. Go to the custom report. The next second tab, yeah, this same thing, John, which happened to you in the last time. So this error is nothing but um, we didn't add the prompt value while running the integration. Okay,
Yeah, it is required.
is required.
Yeah,
Interesting.
here it is.
Hmm. Effective as of date. Why it's not coming up? I'll have to take a look at it. But for the time being, if you can just rerun the report, rerun the integration using by passing the date parameter.
By passing the date.
Yes, while launching, just give a date.
Let me check because there was something weird. Oh yeah, it's always asking for that. Okay.
No, 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 no. Keep it,
Bypass.
keep it, keep it. No, no, no. I mean, just pass a date value here,
Oh, okay.
and I'll take a look why it's not asking for the. Ideally, it should have said that we you need to provide a date parameter for launching the integration. I'll take a look at it. Okay, got completed. Can you go to the open the server log? You see, okay, on top you see the date getting printed. Below that, so you put this
This one,
23rd,
right?
yeah, yeah, 23rd date, right? So whatever date you passed, it's just 2 days actually taking it and running the integration as of that particular date. So you got it how we can use launch parameters and consume it in a studio. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's just to figure out why it's asking the.
Yeah, I will take a look at it. I'll take a look at it after this session because there's no point of wasting time leaving
Okay.
the session. Okay, the rest of the folks, are we good till now? So the next thing is the sequence generator service. So what is a sequence generator service? It's nothing but it's a service provided by Studio through which we can add sequences to our output file. So for now, when you are running the integration, you can see that you are getting an output file called aggregated underscore output.xml, right? Every time you are running the integration, it is generating the file name, same file name. So let's say if it's a vendor system where you are trying to push the data, right? So if you are running the integration multiple times, so if it's a same file name in your target system, in your target file server, it will overwrite that existing file, right? So maybe you don't want to do that. You don't want to overwrite it. You so that in order to avoid the target file to get overridden, what you can do is you can put a sequence like sequence 1 2 3 4 like that, an incremental sequence. So sequence generator provides that fis- that kind of flexibility to add sequence. Along with that, it provides a, a way where we can put a date time stamp as well. So I mean, you can put date time stamps using eval expressions, but always try to use the sequence generator service to generate a date time stamp like year, month, date, hour, minute, second. So there are a certain way, a certain step of or certain pattern in which you can configure the sequence generator, and Workday community provides that. Like there's a difference between a small large like small letter h versus a capital letter H, small letter S versus a capital letter S. Sometimes it's seconds. S is small letter S is microseconds. So all those differences are there. So that's standard documentation Workday provides. So for now, what we will do is we'll learn how we can use that. Again, very simple. If you go to the start here option, and the Workday again. If you go to the services, and in that services, if you go to this one, two, three, fifth option from the left, you see this create sequence generator service. So if you click on that, similar to the attribute service, you have to provide a name and a sequencer name. So this AKG underscore SEQ is the sequence generator service name, and AKG underscore SEQ underscore gen is the sequencer name. Totally similar to the attribute service. So you put a sequencer name, save it. Then in the eval step, you call that, you consume that value by this syntax LP, again launch parameter, get sequenced value, and pass the sequencer name here. This is the sequencer name. Pass it here, put it in a property. Then where you are actually generating the output file, remember we were in the title, we were doing right like the aggregated underscore output dot xml here. Instead of that file, that hard coded name, we can put pass the variable, pass the property where we are storing the file name, the sequence generated value. We'll put it here. Same thing at within curly brackets, the property name. We'll save it. Now, once you deploy the same to your tenant, again the related action, and here you have an option called configure integration sequence generators. Click on this. You see there's a basic information where the first thing that it asks is what is the sequence, how you want to increment it. So I've put it as 1. You can put 5, 10. So it will be like 10, 20, 30, 40. That way it will go up. So padding is if you want to pad it with some zeros and ones or whatever. So you can just play around with it. But mostly padding you won't require in normal scenarios. And in the sequence ID format, you can put a format of the file name like final output underscore. So understand this. See, if you hover your mouse on this, it will give you the list of formats. So within this block brackets, here, third brackets we call it here, the word keyword SEQ means here your sequence will sit. So if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Then small y's, y, it will put it as 2022. Like let's say 2022 is the date, is the year. If you put a double y, double small letter y, it will come up as only 22. Then capital M means like date, like sorry, your month, and for day. So if you put a small d, it's like DD, it's like 21. A single D, it will come up like it's if it's a 5th of January, it will the date will come as 5. If you put a double D, it will come up as 05. And if you want that day like Wednesday, then you have to use E. So again, this documentation is there in the Workday community. So as I was saying, milliseconds, capital S is milliseconds, small s is seconds. So likewise, you can put the format out here. And always remember everything. The sequence generator will only understand differentiate between what your text string is versus what you are trying to convey a sequence. It will only differentiate with this bracket. So let's say if you miss this bracket, it will treat this seq not as a sequence, or this date format not as a date format, but as a name in the text file. So always remember to put it within brackets, and you put the extension .xml, and it will show you, like I have already ran it maybe 1 or 2 times, so 3 times. So it is showing as the last sequence used as 3, and when was the service last used, so that is here. And it will also give you an example, like when you set it up and then tab out, it will show you this, how it will look, the entire file name. So that's how you can utilize sequence generator to not only give a sequence to your file, but to create a file name with a proper date timestamp. Got it? Are we good?
Yes, got it.
So Pablo, right? So from where we'll start? We'll start with the workday in component. Start here. Fine.
Is this okay or I created this wrong?
Yeah, it's okay. Whatever, it's
All
the
right.
just the name. Whatever you want to
Okay.
have, put.
On the eval, I got lost.
Okay. So yeah, I'll tell you. The syntax is LP. Okay, add a row, give a property name. Let's do it as file name.
Okay, this one will be file name.
Yeah, file name, whatever. Doesn't matter what name you put. LP instead of get date, you write get sequenced value with S
Eh,
capital V capital. Sequenced value. Sequenced. CED.
C,
D. Sequenced value.
oh, sequence. Okay.
Yeah. Sequence value and pass
Yeah,
the name of the sequencer.
of the sequencer. It's going to be in this case.
In this case, it will be sequence underscore test. Just copy it and
Okay.
paste it there. Okay. Now let's do one thing. In the log file, let's print the values.
The value for what?
Let it be. Fine. In any case, we are generating the file name, right? We'll see there. Fine. Keep it as it is. And in your final, leave it. That's not needed
Oh,
actually.
it's not required. Okay.
Not required because we'll be seeing it in the output file, right? The file name of the final file will be that only.
Okay.
Okay, just now go to the aggregated where you are generating the aggregated output.
Oh, it's just one moment. I found an error.
No issues.
I don't know why. Okay, now it is okay. All
Yeah,
right. Well, where we have to go?
where you are generating the final output file.
The output file.
Yes, the aggregated output.
This one?
Yes. In the title, we will
Yeah.
pass the value, pass the property. You don't need the XML. We will configure the XML in the sequence generator, the extension. Leave that. You just put a at within curly brackets, then put the property name.
This way, right?
No. Where is the props?
Oh, the props.
No,
Is that the correct syntax? No.
no.
Okay.
Simple thing. Go to the eval, Pablo. Go to the eval where you have created the initiated the property. Just copy the property. Yes, copy it. Go back to your stored step. Yeah, just paste it there. Now cover it with a curly brackets at the
The
beginning, at the
entire
end.
props.
Yes, entire thing,
Okay.
and then put a at the very beginning. Got it?
Got it.
Now deploy it. Save it. Deploy it. Here, one thing. Wait. Here you see in the details of the collection, you see that sequence service after the last line, you see an added is coming up,
Yeah.
right? So here also, I mean, just for the sake of so that you realize it, that whenever you are adding a new service or changing the contents of a service, it will show up as either updated or added. Got it?
Got it.
Deployed. You have to configure the integration service now. Yeah, this if you open this warning message, it will basically say telling you the same, that you have configured an integration configured a sequence generator service. You
Okay.
have created one, but you haven't completed the configuration, right?
Right.
That's why you are getting the warning. So if you yeah, similar to attribute, if you go, you see configure integration sequence generators, seventh from the top. Yeah, that one. Click on that. Now in the sequence ID format, yeah, increment the sequence by 1, and in the just give it a name, a file name in the sequence. Yeah, just put a file name, anything, whatever you want. Then put an underscore. Then within third bracket, put a put write seq sequence. Yeah, seq. Yeah,
Okay.
then just put yymmdd, small letter y,
Why?
with yeah, within that bracket.
Oh,
You see
within
here,
brackets as
yeah,
well.
yeah, you see when you hover on that, you can see the
Yeah.
formats, right?
Yeah. I'm checking the form. For months is capital M, right?
Yes, and date is small d.
Just one?
Do a double D.
Okay.
Got it, and put an extension .xml extension. Okay, scroll down, just tab out,
Just what?
Just put a click on tab or click outside of that field. Yeah, just now scroll up. Where is I'm not able to? There's an option. Just wait. I'm just requesting control. Yeah, you see on right here, file name underscore test underscore 0240226. You can see.
Yeah.
So here, basically, whatever you put here, based on that, it is generating a sample like file name, so that you don't have to run it again and test it whether the your sequencing or the date time parameters are coming correctly or not. So here you can see that.
Okay.
So yeah, just now save it. Save, right? Now just run the integration. Give a date. See, now initially it was coming up as some aggregated underscore output, right? And
Yeah.
and the first letter, that is underscore one, file name underscore test underscore one, is your sequence, 24 is your year, 02 is your month, and 26 is your date. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. And now the question on, it just came to my mind on why the launch parameters were not coming up as required, right? So what we did, see, there's a thing about reporting. I'll just cancel it. So in our report, this prompt that we set here, it's a default prompt, right? So it's basically a runtime date prompt. So even if we have set it as required, it is becoming required for the report. For example, if I try to, let's try to run the report. See, it's showing up this red star here. That means it will not allow me to go further without providing the date. But for the integration, it will be it's taking without the date. The reason being, this prompt is the prompt value that is being passed here is going into runtime date prompts, right? So it's an inbuilt prompt for this report, not a custom prompt. Which means, what is a custom prompt? If we would have added a prompt here, like for example, the cost center scenario I showed you. So putting a filter here instead of adding a cost center, frequently used in the selection list, comparison type prompt. I'll take the first option. So here what happens is, if we are consuming the prompt and passing it in the filter, then if you select it as yes, selected the required flag checkbox as yes, then the studio will automatically consider it as a required launch parameter. But in our case, we are not passing this prompt for effective as of date to any filter criteria. It is basically going into the custom reports own structure of prompting and generating the data as of that effective date, right? We are not using it for our filtering purpose. Workday does it on its own. That is why the integration is will never treat it as a required field. For example, I will show you a particular integration. Here, you see this particular studio integration where we have two different date parameters. So one is hired date on or after and termination date on or after. That means I want to fetch the employees who got hired after a certain particular certain date, and similarly employees who are terminated on or after a certain date. So if I show you this particular integration from the tenant level, what will happen is, let me open it up. Okay, so here you see this integration which I showed you, your studio assembly view. This is the front end of it. So you see in the launch parameters tab, we have two different hired date on or after, termination date on or after. Now if we go back to the report for this particular integration, the RAS report, so here you can see here, see, we have the prompts. These are custom prompts, prompt date 1 and prompt date 2. This is the XML alias prompt date underscore 1, prompt date underscore 2, and I am passing this prompt here in the this higher date clause, higher date filter criteria. That higher date has to be greater than equal to on this particular prompt, or termination date less than this. So basically what I'm doing is higher date less than the current moment but greater than equal to whatever the date prompt the user is passing. Similarly, termination date less than current moment means when the integration is running, but termination but greater than prompt date 2, that is greater than the other parameter field which user is providing. So I'm taking the data or fetching all the data within a certain date range. So just because I'm using this prompt field inside the filter criteria and selected it as yes, I cannot run this integration without providing the run parameter. Sorry, without providing the launch parameter. It will throw me an error saying that launch parameters are necessary to run the integration. Got my point, guys?
Yes. So in this case, will be a conflict between the how the report that is configured.
Yes. So this two effective data and entry date, these are delivered prompting options which Workday provides in its advanced reports, where you don't have to pass the prompt values to filter out your data based on the prompt. Workday does it for yourself. So that is why it is not considering the required field in your integration. But now the
Okay.
question is, then what will happen if the user runs the integration? The same thing, right, Pablo? Your integration failed, right? We don't want our integration to fail. We want a proper error handling to be done, right? Always. So what will you do? Best is, any idea what can be done in this scenario?
Bypass it.
Bypass it, but if you bypass it, so I'm running your report, you have created an integration, now I'm running it. I, as an user, I have no idea about Workday as such. I'm just an user. I ran the integration without the date parameter, you bypassed it. But understand this, you are passing the date parameter here, right? If you are
Yeah.
bypassing it here, then this date parameter will come as blank. So your report will not return the right data as of that particular date, because the date is not, you are not passing the date. So bypassing it won't be an option. So what other option you can think of? from your previous experience of this class. Think about it. You have used you have used the tools. You just need to use your head to come up with the solution. Anyone else want to take a stab at it?
Maybe a route to check if the report has a required date
Yeah,
as we have.
close. You're getting close, but route is not the right answer. But your approach is correct.
Should be enable, no?
Or just enable.
Eval, yes, eval is being used to. Well, yes, true, but a better option than eval. But yes, I'll take that. Eval is the right option. So inside eval you can write codes similar, for example, like this. I will show you. Mm, like this. An if
Oh,
else
okay.
if clause in eval you can do, like if this is this, then do this. I was telling you that pathways example where a lot of information had to be calculation had to be there based on the dates and all. So like if else clause you can do, but in this case the best possible thing is after you can see my studio, right?
Yes.
After
Yeah.
you do your workday start, right? Here in the workday start, you are gathering your launch parameters. In this eval, you are assigning the launch parameters to this property, right? Here, put an mval, put a validate expression similar to what you did here. Remember, if active equals to one, failure message, right? So you write a validate expression here, write that if props date is null, then do add a send error like this, add a put integration message, and write in that in the put integration message you just put it as an error or critical, whatever critical will fill the uh, integration, or you can put an error, and in the summary you can just put context.error message similar to what you did here. Remember this context.error message, and in your validate expression you will just write it that just to inform the user that you need to provide a launch parameter in order to run the integration. So it's not a solution, it's a workaround, and it's a reasonable workaround, isn't it?
Yeah, because you will be like handling the error message, right? In case the
Yes.
user does
Yes,
not
the
enter
user,
the date.
exactly. But most of the times in real time scenarios, when you are actually consuming a report inside a studio, it won't be such a simple report which will have a prompt value like the default prompt, right? The delivered prompt. Most of the real time scenarios you will have to pass the prompt value to the filter to churn out that specific data which you need, right? So this kind of scenario will not come up, but it's just for your sake of understanding that this can happen. So you learnt about error logging, error handling. So this is a way you can handle that error. Got it?